After Adam Moran failed a barbecue challenge, the man known as Beard Meats Food returned for a shot at redemption. One problem: the second time, there was twice as much food. This is the best and worst of BMF. In August 2023, Moran tackled the 10-pound Burgatory challenge at the public house in Sylvan Lake in Alberta, Canada. The challenge included 2 3-pound burger patties with cheese, 10 pieces of bacon, and lettuce and tomatoes nestled between 3 10-inch pizzas. According to the chef, it's like a McDonald's Big Mac but with pizzas. To no one's surprise, the $60 challenge, which had to be completed within an hour for a t-shirt and a name on the Wall of Fame, was undefeated until Moran showed up. The challenge had even been unsuccessfully attempted by a professional football player who only made it halfway through the towering fatty construction. Moran went into it at a disadvantage, saying that his stomach hadn't been feeling up to par lately. But despite his low confidence, Moran dug in anyway, and it turned out to be touch and go. At one point, he stood up, began talking to himself, and said that someone in the room should get ready to dial 911. But by the 47-minute mark, the cholesterol concoction was gone. The chef even celebrated with a new tattoo bearing the Beard Meats Food logo. Moran is British, so he was excited to try a challenge to eat the British classic bangers and mash instead of the usual American fare like burgers and nachos. He put his stomach to work at the Brown Cow pub in Ackworth, England for the chance at a t-shirt, aiming to down 30 sausages, a pile of mash with gravy, a whole cauliflower, and several carrot sticks within 20 minutes to get it. Unfortunately, he couldn't manage it, as the challenge was made even more difficult for Moran because the sausages and mashed potatoes were steaming hot. 10 minutes in, Moran knew he wouldn't be able to complete the challenge, as he still had more mash to go and hadn't even started on the cauliflower. He soon began shoveling cauliflower in his mouth by hand, but it wasn't enough. For years, Moran dreamed of heading to Noble, Oklahoma to try Kendall's restaurant's chicken fry challenge. In November 2022, he finally did it, going head-to-head with 3 chicken fried steaks topped with gravy, 2 servings of mashed potatoes, 2 servings of green beans, a biscuit, a side salad, and 2 cinnamon rolls. Although the challenge is 20 years old, food has been added to it over the years, so when Moran attempted it, it was more difficult than ever. If you complete it in an hour, the $45 meal is free and you get a shirt. Fail and you get a conciliatory loser's cup in what's known as the wildest food challenge in Oklahoma. It only took 27 minutes for Moran to get his $45 back and a new shirt, and he enjoyed the meal too. He even called it the best food challenge I've ever attempted, which is saying a lot considering Moran has posted hundreds of videos. Before trying out the challenge, Moran hadn't eaten for 26 hours, so his appetite was raring to go, to the point where he said even the green beans were delicious. Moran said, "This is my kind of food because you don't really want to stop eating."
I think if I lived here, like in the immediate area, I'd probably be like 400 pounds. I'd be eating here all the time.
When Moran attempted the Undefeated Meat Mountain Challenge at Tavasoli's Cafe and Grill in Leeds, England in 2017, he called it one of the most difficult eating challenges I've seen in a long time. It's easy to see why. The 9-pound plate must be finished in 20 minutes and includes fries, hash browns, mozzarella dippers, bacon, pulled pork, burger patties, and chorizo, which is all smothered in garlic mayo and sweet chili sauce and complemented by a milkshake. When Moran gave the challenge a go, it had never been completed before, and as the food was presented, Moran was surprised, saying that it looked different from the images he had seen online. He gave it his best effort regardless, foregoing a fork and instead digging in with his hands. At the 20-minute mark, a decent portion of the mound remained, as did plenty of milkshake dripping down Moran's beard. Moran ultimately changed his hairdo the day after the loss, claiming it would make his eating more aerodynamic. That's just science.
But it's okay, I'm not bitter. Alright, maybe I'm a little bit bitter. And that one took me by surprise for sure.
For more than 2 decades, diners have put their appetites to the test with the 4-foot hot dog challenge at Doogie's in Newington, Connecticut. The challenge, which was even once featured on the food challenge-loving Man vs. Food, includes a couple of 2-foot hot dogs with 4 hot toppings, as well as a side of fries and a beverage. All must be consumed within 20 minutes for a chance at a t-shirt, a spot on the fast food eatery's Wall of Fame, a $20 gift card, and a discount card. Moran hit the ground running in September 2023, grabbing a root beer and topping his hot dogs with cheese, bacon, caramelized onions, and Swiss cheese before bringing them to the table and digging in with a restaurant full of cheerleaders. Onlookers said they believed Moran could finish it all, despite the thick bread that Moran was warned would be a serious obstacle. Moran was optimistic throughout the video that he would be able to finish the meal, and he was right. Better yet, even though he said he doesn't usually love hot dogs, he also enjoyed the meal as he cruised to victory. Moran can't feel too bad about not finishing the No Clucking Chance Challenge at Huckleberry's American Diner in Darlington, England, when he attempted it in May of 2016. The 11-pound plate of chicken, onion rings, 8 waffles, corn, and cheese fries is so big that it has since been downsized, even though the restaurant chain is known for its monstrously sized meals. As Moran dug into the pile of fried goodies, he wore a Huckleberry's American Diner jacket. But unfortunately, the crowd of media and onlookers would leave disappointed, as Moran couldn't finish the meal within the 40-minute time limit. With 8 minutes left on the clock, but the plate only 75% emptied, it became clear that Moran wasn't going to finish. He looked visibly sick and saddened when he gave up, although he still had room afterwards for a dense s'mores galore dessert. And once home, he continued to cheer himself up with a pint of Ben & Jerry's. Where does he put it all? The Breakfast Baguette Challenge, which included eating a 20-inch baguette packed with eggs, sausage, bacon, black pudding, hash browns, cheese, and cheeseburger patties, alongside a bowl of black beans, a bowl of baked beans, and fries, was so difficult at the Garden Cafe in Long Eaton in central England that the time limit had to be extended from 30 minutes to 45. Even so, when Moran tried to conquer it in July 2023, it had yet to be completed. Despite the unpresuming size of the cozy grab-and-go cafe, the Breakfast Baguette Challenge was decidedly not humble, as it could barely fit through the kitchen door. A gaggle of onlookers watched as he dove into the tray of food, dipping the baguette into the beans and tomatoes. But in the end, Moran finished the meal in about 34 minutes, becoming the sole winner of the challenge, earning his name on the Wall of Fame and keeping the £25 cost of the meal. The Breakfast Club is a quaint all-day restaurant with tons of UK locations named after the iconic 80s film. But the Brat Pack never had to deal with the restaurant chain's 50-item fry-up challenge. Diners can attempt to complete the 25-pound challenge in 30 minutes, and if they do, they'll get £20 back as well as a hat and keychain. When Moran attempted the challenge in May 2021, it was undefeated, and it stayed that way. With a literal 50 items on 3 oversized platters, including 3 pounds of hash browns, which counted as 1 item, the challenge is essentially an enormous traditional English breakfast with a few extras like spam, eggy bread, and mushrooms. Moran felt the extras made the challenge more interesting, and his fans were confident of victory, but it quickly went south. Halfway through, the platters looked much the same, with Moran commenting,
"This could be a fail."
With 3 minutes left, all the hash browns remained, as did a few other items. Moran accepted defeat, guzzled down a Coke, and asked if they had any ice cream on the menu. They gave him the hat anyway. In January 2024, Moran headed to Sweden to attempt to be the new record holder of the biggest burger to ever be eaten at rock-themed bar and restaurant Rust, and he started the year successfully with yet another amazing challenge completed. That meant that Moran got to eat the meal for free and also earned a $93 gift card to the restaurant. Plus, his name was put on the Wall of Fame, and he got to take home a t-shirt when he was named the conqueror of the 4-year-old Swedish Burger Challenge. To do that, he had to eat 100 grams of beef more than the previous record holder, who had chowed down 2,776 grams. Moran upped the ante and aimed for 3,000 grams and 3 towering burgers teeming with cheese, red onions, mustard, ketchup, peanut butter, red onions, pickles, and bacon. We're not sure if he's counting calories, but he also ordered a Coke Zero to wash it down. Within just 14 minutes, all of it was gone. Moran was determined to conquer the 1-hour Breaking Badass Barbecue Challenge at Longhorn's Barbecue Steakhouse in Newcastle, England in April 2016, especially since it had already beaten him once. But it wasn't to be. He once again wasn't able to finish the overflowing tray of barbecue fare. Although the challenge was 7 pounds when he tried it in 2015, Moran said that it appeared to be double that on his second try. Still, Moran dug into the mountain of food, tossing emptied bones onto a plate. He said that he enjoyed American-style barbecue except for the brisket, which had grown cold and was like chewing through an army boot. Though he only left just 1 pot of beans on the table the last time, this time a smorgasbord of meats and beans remained on Moran's tray by the 1-hour mark. However, he said it wasn't that he was full, he just didn't want any more. You don't usually think of pizza as being associated with Norway, but the Norway's Pizza Challenge at Oslof's Pizza in Oslo is the biggest in the country, with challengers taking on a 75-centimeter pizza topped with 2 meats in just 1 hour. If they fail, they have to foot the $75 bill. The pizza was so big that it couldn't even fit within the frame of Moran's video as he sat down in February 2024 to eat it, accompanied with garlic dip for extra flavor. Within just 18 minutes, only the crusts remained, which Moran dipped in water to help them go down easier. Just 14 minutes later, for a grand total of 32 minutes, Moran had eaten the entire pie and became the first person to conquer the challenge.
I just need to sit here for like 5 minutes, collect myself.
In June 2023, Moran took on the Undefeated Giant French Toast Challenge at Diggelock, a brunch spot in Oldham in the UK, where a 2.5-kilogram brick of French toast, loaded with cream and fruit, was served on a wood tray with rope handles. All of the toppings added an extra kilogram, bringing the final weight to 3.5 kilograms, or approximately 7.7 pounds of food. Moran had just 30 minutes to pack it away. Luckily, he had an advantage. He loves French toast. 22 minutes later, he had completely housed the French toast, becoming the first winner of the challenge. For his efforts, he got the meal for free, as well as a tote bag, and for some reason, a big wooden spoon. Considering how much food he shovels in, the spoon might actually be the most useful thing he's ever won.